Welcome to visit my virtual presentation. I'm Karen Sun from Louisiana State University. I'm going to talk about policing behavior in termites. Social insects are characterized by reproductive division of labor, but reproductive conflicts often happen in species where workers retain reproductive potential. For example, in honeybee, workers are able to activate their ovaries and lay unfertilized eggs that develop into males. Worker reproduction also happens in many ants and wasps. These conflicts include genetic conflict. That's when individuals try to maximize their own reproductive success because they are more related to their own offspring than the queens. It also involves the allocation of resources needed for reproduction. If too many individuals reproduce, it causes an increased demand for brood care and reduced labor force. Policing behavior is an important mechanism that resolves these conflicts. Policing is a broad concept that describes a variety of behaviors observed in social species, and it refers to coercive actions that reduce direct reproduction by other individuals. The orientation of policing behavior could be worker to worker, reproductive to worker, or even between reproductives. However, the study of policing behavior was limited to social Hymenoptera. It was not investigated in termites, which belong to the order Boletodia. In termites, both male and female are diploid. There's a lack of relatedness and asymmetries in general, and genetic conflicts are almost always expected because individuals are more related to their own offspring than others. In addition, the immature, including workers and nymphs, have the potential to differentiate into neotenic reproductives. In many termites, upon the death of a primary queen and king, neotenic reproductives take over the breeding position. So how is a potential conflict regulated in termites during the reproductive succession? Our study focused on the worker reproductive transition in the eastern subterranean termite, Reticulotermis flaupes. In the absence of a primary queen and king, workers can molt into ergatoid reproductives. The newly formed ergatoids have an elongated abdomen and wider thorax than workers. We found that during reproductive succession, the number of ergatoids is restricted. Although a relatively large number of ergatoids can be produced, only a small fraction of them are able to survive and to successfully reproduce. And we frequently observed that some of the ergatoids stayed intact, as you can see in the yellow square, but some of them were injured and cannibalized, as you can see from the red circles. Then we addressed two questions, including who is in control of this behavior. Is it ergatoids or workers? And among all the ergatoids, who has a priority to survive? Here's what we found. This behavior is a cooperative effort between ergatoids and workers. It begins with two ergatoids interacting with each other. One attacks the other until it's injured, and workers cannibalize the victim. Here, the attacker is marked in orange on the head. The victim is in white. There are two bystanders, one in dark gray and one in light gray. Those are ergatoids who did not involve in the aggression. Now you can see the orange ergatoid is holding the white one on the abdomen very tightly and taking a bite. That caused the victim to quickly flee. The victim at this point is still alive. Immediately after the attack, the attacker started to vibrate the body toward different directions. Vibration is an alarm behavior. Termites vigorously shake their bodies to produce substrate-borne signals to alert their nest mates. And interestingly, the bystanders did the same thing. Here's the dark gray bystander vibrating. It didn't even involve in the fight. We think they performed this alarm behavior to recruit workers, and it might also be a signal to inform workers that they are not the victim. Do not eat me. The victim completely loses in this game. It doesn't fight back and never vibrates. Now you can see the victim in white is surrounded by a group of workers and being cannibalized alive. We found the age of ergatoids played an important role in this behavior, and every time it was an earlier differentiated ergatoid attacking a later differentiated one in both females and males. So inheritance of the breeding position in termites is on a first-come, first-served basis. This behavior in termites is comparable to the sting-smearing behavior in a queenless pontine ant. If the dominant or the alpha female is challenged by another female, she chemically marks the pretender using her stinger, and that female is then pleased by the lower-ranking females. This cooperation allows the alpha to inflict punishment indirectly and maintain her dominant status without having to fight. And similarly, in termites, the attacker makes one bite without killing its rival, and workers get the job done. We think this behavior represents an interesting evolutionary convergence between social Hymenoptera and Boletodia. Thank you for your interest in this study. I will be able to take your questions on Tuesday afternoon.